everyone. Welcome to TorontoActor.com. This is my first vlog with the stranger. Now, what's your name?
My name is Jan Caruana.
What's your Twitter handle, Jan?
@Jan Caruana.
Very simple. You got in first. So, for those of you wondering, why are you starting a vlog about Toronto actors? Jan doesn't know either. I've just shown up at her house with all this equipment saying, hey, gonna record. What is, for me, I think just as an actor, acting for over 10 years now, I think it's very good to hear everyone's stories and realize the ups and downs that it is being an actor and the other things you do creatively to support yourself and keep yourself somewhat sane in this business. So, Jan, who I've known for
Too long.
Redacted. We're just gonna redact everything. But, well, I guess we're 13, 14?
Yeah.
In that
yeah, like 14 years, yeah.
Because, yeah, I've been in Toronto. I'll be 16 in the fall. So, yeah, that makes mathematical sense. But Jan, basically, you know, great performer, and we will learn all about her while we vlog. Now, this is my first time on the internet.
Not like on the internet, you mean like on the internet?
No. It's so big. It's so spacious.
What a world.
But basically, I think, it'd be great to talk to everyone, just hear their story, sort of like, when did you first start acting or got the bug, and go from there.
Oh, is that the question?
Maybe.
Well, I first started acting when I was in the womb, essentially. But I went to theater school under the assumption that I would just become a teacher, and then I didn't really want to do that. So I spent a couple of years, assistant directing small theatrical productions and kind of just working a 9-to-5 job. And then I went to my very first improv class, and that was pretty much it for me. Everything after that kind of started falling into place because of improv and comedy, and I met the wonderful people who I have in my life now, as well as nice take to the camera.
Hey, it's a vlog. What are you doing? As
well as a lot of professional contacts and people who have since gone on to employ me gainfully.
Now, so when you where'd you go to school? I
went to U of T and Sheridan College. They have a program there where you can do a college program and a university program concurrently, so you end up with a degree and a diploma at UTM.
And so what was the process of even getting into that program?
Well, out of high school, probably much like any other theater program, you basically go, you audition, you do a couple monologues, a song I think I had to do, a bunch of reference letters, and I had been very active in my high school drama club, so
that's it.
That was helpful.
No, that's true, because I think it was high school was my first acting, but then it is that weird sense of like, can you make a living at it? I think that always becomes...
Yeah, which is why I thought I would be a teacher, because even all through theater school, I never thought that this kind of lifestyle would be one that I would really take to, because I like stability. I like knowing that I have a check every week. I like knowing that my rent is paid and that I don't have to worry if I want to, I don't know, buy a TV or if I need an operation. But acting gives you none of that security, so
you
I don't know how
opposite land.
Yeah, I went to opposite land. I kind of graduated and became Bizarro Jan.
Yeah. Now, after school, and so you're saying, where did you do your first improv?
I've only ever taken improv classes kind of seriously at Bad Dog Theatre. Formerly, when I was doing it, it was Theatre Sports Toronto. And I took a class with someone named Ralph McLeod, who is still my friend today. And it was really great because of his encouragement and kind of, basically egging me on and promoting me through the ranks of that organization in terms of their shows. I really stuck with it. I really found that I loved it, and it's basically provided me all the opportunities that I have up to this point.
I think that's it. Like, for those who don't know improv, like, it's very freeing in that sense of there's nothing to prep. And I remember I got quoted and got there's a little backlash in some Now article when they were talking about the return of sketch, because we were in a sketch group, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But because I said improv is lazy man acting.
Oh yeah, that was not cool.
But I stand by in the sense of it's just there's no preparation.
Yeah, you don't have to like memorize lines, and you don't have to, oftentimes you don't have to go through a lot of hair and makeup or extensive costume changes. It's basically you show up and you do the work, and
truly
it is
in
work.
That moment,
But
and truly be in that moment. So that's what I mean when I call it improv lazy man acting.
He's still paying for it.
Yeah, it's true. I'm sure some people are like, that Daryl.
We hate him.
But, and then, so I guess when we met, it was Jamie Lamb.
Yes. Yeah, so I took a class with Daryl here, a musical improv singing class.
Yes.
And that's where we met, and we formed it. Well, you asked me to be in a troupe with you and some other people called the Lamb Chops.
Yeah.
And yeah, the rest is history after that.
Yeah, because we named the group after Jamie Lamb, who come up with this format of literally just one suggestion.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive and still teaching us. Yeah. And he was a bit leery. He didn't really want to.
Yeah, because he was our musical accompanist. Yeah. And he was like, I don't know.
I don't know about this. But then,
we made him.
Yeah. Then we started doing well. Then he's like, I'm on board.
Let's do it.
Sounds good. And I think for, the musical improv was just one suggestion, and we would do these half-hour, full musical, and it was 22 minutes, because Cage Match is where we sort of honed that format. And it was always nice to do it. When you're timed, you can just sing it out. Yeah. You can always sing out 30 seconds.
Okay, we're done.
But, and then so from there, like what was your first sort of like paying gig or professional job?
Well, funnily enough, through that class, I met a woman named Mickey Moore.
Mickey Moore, yes.
And very nice woman, and she recommended me to my first agent, who was her agent at the time also. And the first professional, quote-unquote professional gig that I booked, like on-screen gig, was Mean Girls.
I've never heard of this film. What is this?
It's a film about some women in high school, starring Rachel McAdams and Lindsay Lohan, written by Tina Fey, who was also in the movie. And I was in it for a few brief scenes.
So Mean Girls was your first?
Yeah, it was so funny. So the funny thing was at the time, Hairspray, the movie, was coming out, and the musical, actually. And I think I auditioned for that like 50 times. Like every time something was, they somehow found me, because I didn't have an agent at that time. And I think the agent that I eventually signed with was like, oh, well, if this is a person who's getting these auditions on her own, you got some rocket fuel behind you. But I went in, and she called me up, and she was like, Jen, I have an audition for you. It's for some film. And I was like, okay. And the funny thing was
an evil villain from a Bond film.
No, she's very nice. But yeah, I think, I don't even know, in my 20s at the time, and I was auditioning for the part of like a 16-year-old girl, and I was like, there's no way. So I just kind of went in and went, yeah, okay. And then I booked it.
Who casted that?
Robin Cook.
Robin Cook, okay.
And Mark Waters, the director, was in the room, and I swore. Because the line was something about Regina, and I kept saying Regina, like Saskatchewan. And then it was that thing in your head where you're like, Regina, 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 Regina. And as soon as it comes out of your mouth, you're like, Regina. No, he said Regina, and you said Regina again. You just went, and then I said the F word, which I think kind of endeared me.
Well, it's true, because that's the thing, auditions, which are such a crazy beast unto itself, and that's probably too, like, what is your prep for an audition? Like, are you like a break down the script, or? No,
because it's very rare, actually, that I get scripts that are more than just, like, we close at 8, You
went that way.
So I just try, and I find the auditions that I do best at are ones that I learn and kind of just allow myself to absorb, and then don't really think that much about. It might be my improv training or something, but I find that if I'm in the moment, it works a lot better for me than really trying to get into a
I'm definitely in that neck of the woods of, once I stopped caring, and again,
careful,
me and my words,
lazy man.
Yeah, lazy man auditioning, lazy man walking. But it's true, like, it's really stop worrying about the audition and trying to be perfect. And
I think and especially for a lot of the parts that we as Toronto actors kind of go out for, again, it's rare that I have a script over 2 pages. Do I really need to like get into the, backstory of the cashier? I always find that that's kind of a fun thing to think about and allow to color your work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not breaking down beats for Cashier 2.
No, and that's it. I think it's realizing not to worry. I remember I had a sleepless night once for an audition it was a commercial audition, which is even sillier to worry about because you never know. Commercial auditions are its own beast. But what was it, when Dose magazine launched? That was like some, and I remember it was like a page of dialogue.
Yes,
and
yeah.
I'm not a good memorizer, and
I'm not either.
And one of my things is now I actually go in with the sides, which being in LA, it's very
I think you're
common,
like supposed
acceptable.
To, right?
In LA, they want to see you with the script
so they
because
know it's an audition.
Yeah, they know that you're pliable because in Toronto, a lot of people are teaching must be off book, and I'm like, if you can be off book, great. But if that's not your strong suit, it's better for you to be holding that script and just look down and keep going versus a meltdown of like.
Yeah, and I think too, the other thing I was going to say about the parts that I mostly go out for is I think they want to see a little bit of you in those parts, right? Like they want to see someone with a personality. They want to see someone who's going to be able to kind of shine through we close at 8. Not to say that you should, eat the counter. Be like, I'm the scholar now. But yeah, I always go in with my sides too, even if I don't need them, just to kind of have them and as a visual reminder that this is an audition. It's not like a finished, polished performance, and I'm open to being directed. Yeah,
and that you're up for it. Now, so then from Mean Girls, should we tell the story of going to the Mean Girls rap party?
Oh yeah, tell it. I didn't want to go.
Jan didn't want to go to the Mean Girls rap party. First of all, it was like 5 or 6 months.
It was way after,
way after. So you're just
we'd wrapped like it was just kind of.
It was like late fall or I don't know. It was a long time,
and it was way across town.
Yeah, for you.
From me.
For you, but my background is my education is actually television production, and I happened to be working for CBC and had a minivan for their documentary unit for something. And one of the greatest people, fill in the blank kind of stories. And I called Jan. How did I even know you had the rap party, but you weren't going? Or
I think you called me. You were either in the neighborhood or you called me.
I said, I have this car.
Yeah, do you want to go for a ride? Which I love just going for a ride. When you don't have a car or access to a car, you just really that and IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was just go for a spin, and then that's when you're like,
I was like, oh, there's this thing. I don't know if I'm going because my best friend, who was also in the movie, Stephanie Drummond. She was out of town, so I didn't have a buddy.
To go with. And so I'm like, oh, let's go, because we had no expectations of
anyone being there. We thought maybe we'll get some free food.
Because it was at the now defunct Gypsy Co-op, which had the candy counter.
Yes.
So I'm like, we can go for free candy.
Yeah.
Because just thinking it'll be mostly camera guys,
production people, all very nice, but
great people. But
when you're only on a set, like I was on set for 10 days, but they were sporadic and scattered, you don't really form relationships.
So then as we're walking in, we see Tina Fey getting her palm read by the
palm reader.
her palm. I don't know what they do. And then we walked in and it's like
there's Lindsay Lohan doing karaoke,
and Lauren Michaels was there, and
Amy Poehler.
She played Regina George's mom, and it was just such
it was weird,
a very surreal night. We sang Neil Diamond karaoke.
Yeah, which
Amy
was
Poehler
great.
Complimented us on her singing.
Yes, Amy Poehler, I think probably one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. Not to name drop or anything, but she was so nice.
She was, and for me, because she's always played a lot of hard characters on SNL, like rough women, and it's so not her. It's like she obviously knows that plays well as an actor, but
so sweet. I remember. Can I tell one little story about her? Just because she's so nice. I remember one time I was in the makeup trailer and she was right beside me getting her makeup done. Obviously, a way bigger deal than me. And I said, I really loved the Upright Citizens Brigade. And she said, have you been to our theater? It's so fun. You gotta go. She's like, I'll bring you some flyers. And it really like radiated with me because she was talking about UCB. Like I would talk about Bad Dog and say, oh my God, you gotta come see Theater Sports, or you gotta come see this show, or you gotta come do this show. And then after I shot a scene, she made a point of coming up to me and talking to me and telling me how great it was. And she said, I think you got a really nice close-up. And she's just so nice.
And that's the thing, too, because I think, I don't know, I guess for me, like, I've been around enough famous people, but I've never been awestruck around famous people,
Yeah.
which is probably
They become very
kids.
regular people very quickly.
They're still acting,
Yeah.
and I think that's the key. As long as you're not spazzing on people, they'll probably hire you back. Because who wants to hire a stalker?
Yeah.
And I think, and that's the thing. You realize it's everyone's acting, and everyone's doing their own thing, and they have their own process.
Yeah. And everybody's just doing their work.
Yeah. And that's true, and that's what I think people sometimes forget, especially when I first started auditioning, like was thinking about, I think I had a callback for a part for Charlie Bartlett, which was a much bigger part than what I went in for, and like just totally psyched myself out because you're thinking like, I'm gonna be in a Hollywood film, I'm gonna be like, and you're just like, versus just do a good job for the part, and because again, you can easily be cut out of the movie as well.
Well, and you know what the other thing is, I think that too often people just forget in life. People just kind of want to work with people they like and other nice people. So if you go in, and it's so funny, it's so dumb, but I find that if you just have nice manners, you say hello, you say good morning, you say please, you say thank you, always thank them for seeing you, and they bring you back.
And I think that's where people sometimes lose that focus of who do you want to be stuck with 14, 16 hours a day, especially in film or television. It's like no one. I enjoy when I hear about these shows because I think Shonda Rhimes is a big like no asshole policy, and if you are, then you suddenly die or get written out. And I think that's the thing to think about when you're on a set.
Just be nice. Just don't be a dick. That's just
all
like,
the time. That's
just
even
your
on a
life.
set,
Like that's just life.
And now, so you've also now done a lot of writing and stuff. So how did that sort of come in with your acting?
Well, again, it came to me through improv. This television show.
People who write, that's how they pronounce it.
Yeah, television. They were casting a TV show for young adults, or not young adults, young audiences, called That's So Weird, which was going to be a sketch show. And they were basically casting across the country. And again, I was put in this showcase for this, youth audience show. And I was like, why am I even here? Honestly, it just was like rolling my eyes at the whole thing. Because, I was not 14. I was not even 19. And so I just kind of did it and had a blast, like just had a fun time performing with my friends. And then a day or two later, Gary Pearson, who was the showrunner, and he was obviously watching the showcase, called me up and said, can you submit a package? And I did. And then he asked, after having read it, he asked to meet me, and I came down, and he showed me this big board with all these people's pictures on it. And he said, see this person, you're way older than this person. See this person, you're too old. He just kept telling me how old I was over and over and over again.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, and I was just like, great. Like, did you just come down to bring me down here to I think it was like the frickin' Junction or something. I live in the East End, so anything west of Yonge, I'm just like, ugh, God.
Anything off the subway line.
Yeah, I'm like, no thanks. But anyway, just kept telling me over and over how old I was. And then finally he went, but you're not too old to be a writer, and I'd like to hire you. So like, finally, after 10 minutes, you're telling me what a crone I am.
Here's your cane. How did you get here without your cane, old lady?
Do some knitting. We'd like you to do some knitting.
And how many seasons did?
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
So I was, the first season I was hired because of the way like Canadian television works. It's a lot of different money from different places. So I was hired to write solely for the internet. And one of the producers one time came in and he said, no, you're writing for the internet. You're not writing for TV. If somebody's talking about TV, you can't say anything about it because if we use your idea, then we have to pay you. As a matter of fact, maybe we should put you in another room by yourself. And Gary, God bless him, he was like, no, she can stay here with everyone else.
Nothing like the creative process.
I know, just sitting in a room crying by yourself, thinking about the internet. But then in that first season, I did somehow manage to get three sketches on TV, and then they hired me as a TV writer for the last 2.
Nice.
And the last season, I got to go to Halifax, which hopefully they'll keep all the tax credits.
Yeah, the
Barfo.
Boo government.
Boo government.
Boo
Halifax.
What's the hashtag? There's a hashtag.
I don't know,
I saw that
hashtags
today.
save everyone who works in Halifax.
And that's film, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll put it on.
Throw it in a, like...
There, here. Okay, we'll bracket. See, cooperation. We're yes-handing.
Hashtag.
The key of good improv.
Yeah.
Yes-handing. Hashtag.
I don't know.
Now, so in your career, so where, because I'm trying to think, you've also taught a lot of improv.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure many people probably just know you from that. So are you still teaching, or?
I don't teach very much anymore because I'm working on another show now, so it's kind of taken me in and out of the loop at various times. I love teaching and I love improvising, but unfortunately, you know, the more work you do, the kind of further and further away you get from that, and that's really unfortunate.
And then where, so, I'm trying to think, it's that weird thing of I know your history, but now I'm trying to get it out of you to say for the vlog, the public. So where did Second City come into this?
So I did 3 seasons of That's So Weird, and then I basically didn't work for a year. Prior to That's So Weird, so 3 years before the point we're at now, I was with the Second City touring company for about a year, and we would do a show every Monday night. It was a lot of fun. Worked with a lot of great people. And then after That's So Weird was wrapped, I had about a year of just kind of teaching and doing other things.
I think I need to emphasize for people, like, you need to have a few others.
Oh yeah, like when I'm not working, like I'm constantly teaching, I'm constantly hustling for improv, corporate workshops, corporate shows. I do some corporate speaking now, and you need all of these things to just, you know, keep you going. But then Second City called, and I did a year on the main stage there. So that was until last January.
Okay.
A year ago, yeah.
It almost feels longer than that.
It does feel longer.
I guess especially when you see all the different Second City shows.
Yes.
Because how many shows? So 3 a year? Is that a typical average?
Yeah, between 2 and 3. You kind of do 2 full runs, and then you start writing the 3rd in December.
Okay. So, and then for those who don't know the process, say they got hired by Second City, is it most of the people are usually from the tour co?
No? Not anymore. I think it used to be that way. They had a very specific kind of we hire from within policy. It's not like, it doesn't seem to be like that anymore. I don't know any official policy. I'm not a spokesperson for Second City.
I should know that.
But yeah, essentially what happens is a lot of people do come from their touring company or their education company, and you basically write a show on your feet through improv every night of the week, and you're rehearsing all day, and then you're performing at night, and they're often like 12 or 13-hour days.
And I think people don't realize too that, because you're watching 2 like sort of acts of sketch, and the 3rd act's always improv at Second City, which is always free.
It's always free.
What time usually?
I don't know, like around 9:30. If you call the box office,
yeah,
sure
call
the. It's different every time because the show's always different.
So yeah, so call and just check, but it's free every night. So if you want to just watch some improv, and there's always a lot of guests. Probably who are the memorable guests that you've had?
We never had anybody super famous. You know who one of my favorite guests was, actually? Mark Forward would come and play with us every once in a while, and he's this very, very funny stand-up comedian. And it was always fun when he came to play because he didn't improvise like an improviser, right? He was so fun. And you know what? Who else too? Arthur Simeon would come and he would tell stories, and then we would.
Who's that?
He's a stand-up comedian.
Oh, okay.
Very, very funny. But you know, I got to meet. I got to meet Dave Foley, and just, you know, it's always nice when people come. Martin Short and Andrea Martin.
And you did Martin Short's.
I did. Martin Short Goes Home. Yes, I had a no line part, but I had a lot of
screen time. A lot of screen time. That's
and a big kiss.
And the big kiss with the boy in the bubble.
With the boy in the bubble. Eli Henry.
And did you read? I just read his biography before Christmas.
Oh, I haven't read it.
You want to borrow
He's a very nice man. Yeah, I'll borrow it. Yeah.
I would have brought it if I did, but okay, we're cutting this. I'll come back.
Are you gonna come back? Can I check?
I'm gonna go get the book and then.
Oh, because I was gonna say, can I check the thing that I have in the stove if you're cutting?
No, I was joking. I was coming back. But go, check. We can edit.
You know what? If it's done, I'll bring it.
Bring it. I'm also here for dinner.
He's also here for dinner.
We're about to do a show tonight for Don Burns, a great improviser, also known as DJ Trance to those Or
Dr. Trance.
Dr. Trance. Oh, I wrote DJ Trance to someone, but it was Dr. Trance.
He was a DJ.
He was a DJ who went by the name Dr. Trance.
Okay, I'm coming back.
But yeah, we're doing a fundraiser tonight.
Not for him, because he's
passed away. So we're fundraising in his
name, yeah.
At the SoCap.
Social Capital Theater.
Which is my first time going there. So
oh, it's great. You'll love it.
I've heard it's a very good space. So, so then when you're done with Second City, what did you do?
What did I do? I think I went basically from being at Second City to writing for the television show I'm writing for now called Sunnyside.
Which can be seen on City TV.
That's right, citytv.com.
Watch it on the internet, because who has a television?
It's not on right now.
It's not on the browser?
It is on the browser. It's
Okay.
just not on television right now.
No, it's not on television. You just finished writing part 2 of season 1?
Yeah, so basically we got an order for 6 episodes for season 1. So we were in development, which is what I was doing after Second City. We wrote a bunch in the summer of last year. And then we went to Winnipeg to shoot them. Then they really liked what they were seeing coming in. So they ordered 7 more kind of on the back end of season 1. So I'm going to guess maybe September at some point, they're going to air all 13 episodes as a full season.
Oh, nice.
I hope.
But yeah, you can watch the first 6 on
citytv.com. It's called Sunnyside.
Sunnyside. And again, it's the funny thing in production, because it's a neighborhood in Toronto, but they filmed it
in Winnipeg.
They filmed it in Winnipeg. And is there anything else you have coming up, or you feel anything, any words of sage advice to the millions that will be watching?
I think it's do it because you love it, because here in Canada especially, unfortunately, there's so few of us that can just, you know, and I'm often not in a category like this, but can just make your living off of being an actor. Our industry is so precarious at times that unless you can get on board with an American, you know, network, or you
the hybrid shows.
Yeah, or you have a runaway show like Orphan Black or something like that. That's a co-pro with BBC, right?
BBC America.
Then you know you are auditioning for a lot of parts where you just go like the bank machine doesn't work, or you know those kind of parts. And those parts are great and they keep you going, but you have to do it because you love it. And I would say find the thing that you love the most and do that, and find a way to find your fulfillment through those kinds of things.
That's good advice. One thing that just popped in my head, because how was it for you? Because you've like lost some weight, so you you changed category. Because I mean, television is basically a lot of times you're cast on almost, I want to say, stereotypes. Yeah. Like of the different, you know, like playing different parts. So what was it like to change categories?
I honestly don't think that I really have. Like I've lost probably like 130 pounds. And I still get, you know, homely girlfriend. Or
sometimes you see the breakdown where it's character.
Not nice.
Yeah.
For anybody who
non-models,
regular people. For anyone who's not an actor, who's some teen in, you know, I don't know, Flin Flon, just going maybe someday. Yeah, you kind of have to have a really thick skin about it. I've read breakdowns for things that I've gone out to, which were they just kind of make you want to cry. I get less of those now, and now it's really funny because I think I find that like I got some breakdowns that didn't specify like overweight or something like that. And I'm like,
cherub face.
Yeah. So I'm just getting like regular person things now, which is like, why couldn't I have been the receptionist when I weighed more?
and I think that's the weird thing, because it's, I guess, like for any actors realize knowing your type. I think if you want to play outside your type, this one you need to create your own stuff. Like,
yeah. Well, the hilarious thing is, though, not to interrupt, but when I first started and weighed a lot more, I would always go out for parts, and I tell this story all the time because it just always blew my mind, but I was never in a category because they didn't really seem to know where to put me. I was kind of brought in as the wild card. Okay. So I've gone out for a part that was Japanese businessman, and one was like sassy black lady. And then one time I walked into a room, and you want to talk about like feeling bad about yourself? Everybody was like a tall, beautiful, like blonde, leggy blonde, like wearing like high boots and like power tops. And I was like in a cardigan and Mary Jane shoes, feeling like such a schlub. But I think that's the flip side, is that, yeah, you know, and I think I probably did get a call back for Japanese businessman or something. And those were always the ones that I kind of excelled at, I guess.
Movie recording has been stopped.
This is a live vlog. Everybody, it's a live vlog. Lynn.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay.
You're about to enter a porno.
We're doing a movie.
Oh. This is for.
Daryl's
I'm
vlog.
starting a vlog, and Jan's my first.
Wow. You mean you're starting a vlog for Jan?
No.
I'll just be awkwardly in the background.
Yeah, just sit
Yeah.
here.
Just sit there. We'll just add you. It's like, if you've been looking closely, you would have seen Carrie Griffin has been hiding in the corner. it's like the new Spot It. But anyway, Carrie Griffin just entered, so you're someone I am going to interview you.
Okay.
Not at this moment.
No,
but
then I won't appear on camera.
just be the voice. Just be the ominous voice.
Well, he's a voice. That's another thing, voice acting.
Yeah, have you done much voice acting?
Just some commercials and things, but that's another really great way to supplement your life.
Did you do a demo reel or?
I did. And you know what? I book a lot of stuff off my demo. Do you, Carrie?
Once in a while, a lot, I'd say.
Yeah.
It was good to have. And then I guess, since we're about to eat, we'll wrap this up. But thank you, Jen.
I'm hungry.
This is the voice. Actually, when I explain, because I'm sure anyone will be watching will be looking at your painting.
Oh, yeah.
What was your painting?
Oh, what is it?
Yeah.
Well, when I was in theater school, we had like kind of a sister program with the visual arts department, and they would do art shows in our theater lobby. And this one was painted by Tiffany Arner, who I'm no longer in touch with. But it hung in the lobby, and I think a lot of people would say, oh my gosh, is that Jan? Is that Jan? And it isn't. It's a picture of her and her sister from Halloween.
Oh, okay.
And one of them was a bride and one of them was a clown. And I really loved the picture, so when we graduated, she gave me the picture.
Oh,
but
nice.
so many people think it's really creepy, and I just think it's really lovely and adorable. But
No, well, at least you got the backstory on it now.
yeah.
Maybe we'll move this part to the beginning. Warning, if you're looking at this piece of art, it's just children dressed in Halloween
Yeah, it's
costumes.
just Halloween costume. It's not a weird, creepy bride marrying a clown.
This isn't a white wall and you're having visions.
You're not being
seeing
haunted.
things.
It's not what's that It's not paranormal activity.
Or is it?
I've been dead this whole time.
I'm gonna push that. I'm putting that hashtag in YouTube. Let's see if it gets more hits for it. But so Jan, if people want to see when you're doing a show, like in the next 2 hours, or
you can go to jancaruana.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at jancaruana. Are you gonna put it?
Yeah,
because it's hard to spell.
I'm gonna throw week Star Wipes.
Yeah, Star Wipe, fun music.
Explosion. We'll put it in for you. Well, thank you, Jan, for being my first. And we're done. Bye. Thank you, Jan. It's very good. Very good vlogging with you. And Carrie will be at some point.
I'm available.
I'm available. Now we eat.
You look tan.